Here we're going to discuss the independent samples t-test. And here we have some notes with regards to the test. And for example, it says the hypothesis for an independent sample t-test will be the null and the alternative. The null hypothesis will always assume that the means of the two groups are not significantly different. That means that they are equal to each other. Whereas the alternative hypothesis or the research hypothesis, okay, sometimes they call it the research hypothesis, will be assuming that the means of the two groups are significantly different. That means they are unequal means. So that's what the alternative will always assume. That's what the null will always assume. Here you have a website, a link that you can get some more additional information. So here you have the research hypothesis in symbolic form and the null hypothesis in symbolic form. So the research hypothesis or the null hypothesis will either be saying 1 mean is greater than the other, 1 mean is less than the other, or 1 mean is not equal to the other. Whereas the null hypothesis will always be saying that the means are equal, that there is no difference between the means of the two groups. So here's the actual question number 4, case scenario. It says an investigator is planning a clinical trial to evaluate the efficacy of a new drug designed to reduce systolic blood pressure. The plan is to enroll participants to randomly assign them to receive either the new drug or a placebo. Okay, so you have two independent groups, the new drug group and the placebo. So the systolic blood pressures will be measured in each participant after 12 weeks on the assigned treatment. Okay, so the research question here is the new drug effective for reducing systolic blood pressure? So moving along, we have to complete the following. First, we have to complete the research question, the research topic, sorry, so we can put an appropriate topic along the line of new drug for reducing systolic blood pressure, anything along that line. This is then followed by the research question. And we can put as a research question, is the new drug effective for reducing systolic blood pressure? As we know, every research question requires an answer, and an answer without empirical data is called a hypothesis, which is a claim made about the population. In fact, the research topic, the research question, and the hypothesis, they are all directed towards the population. So we can have as our claim, yes, a response to the research question. The research question is asking, is the new drug effective? So the hypothesis saying, the claim is saying, the research question saying, yes, the new drug is effective for reducing systolic blood pressure. And symbolically, we have the new drug, the mean pressure of the new drug group, the new drug participants, is less than the mean of the placebo group. That is what this hypothesis is claiming. Okay, that's what it is claiming. And this has to be tested to see if this is true or not. So then this is followed by the objective, which is to determine if the new drug is effective for reducing systolic blood pressure. So to do that now, we need to fill in the table with our data, okay? One for the new drug group, and the other for the placebo, two independent samples. Here we can put participants. So I'm going to be a little biased towards my research hypothesis, and I'm going to put the blood pressure for the new drug less than that of the placebo, okay? But in the real research, you would have to use the real data collected. But since this is an academic exercise, I can cook the data and make it biased towards the new drug group. So now I've filled in the table. So what I need to do now is to complete the hypothesis test. Step 1 is to state a pair of hypotheses. We already have stated the claim, that is the alternative, that the new drug blood pressure is less than the placebo. Okay, so to complete the pair, I have to include the null, and the null will be saying that there is no difference, that they are equal to each other. Then we've got to input the data in the appropriate calculator. Here, there is a link for the calculator beneath there, so we just click on it. And we analyze it. We are looking for independent samples t-test to compare two means. Here it is. And it says to choose how to enter the data. Unpaired t-test. You have paired and unpaired. Unpaired is independent. So we can copy and paste our values in here. Group 1 is for the new drug. And group 2 is for the placebo. I realize I'll have to type in each value into these tables. So let us look at another calculator that can facilitate our endeavor. And here it is, the other link. Take me to the calculator. Two independent means, so you can simply copy and paste your data here. So we copy a new drug, Control-C, and we paste right here. And it will be the same for placebo. And we keep the significance level at 0.05 by default, and it's a one tail. As we can see, it's actually a left tail. Okay, here it is. It's a one tail. Then we scroll down and we just click calculate to get the p-values. So here did the calculations and scroll lower down, and here's our p-value 0.0000078. So we copy this and to place this in our document. We input the data and we identify the p-value, which is a George, and our p-value is 0.00. Now we have to state the decision criteria. Here it is. If the p-value is less than the significance level, alpha, you reject the null. If the p-value is not less than the significance level, you do not reject the null. Or p-value is 0.00078. That brings us to step 5. Okay, which is less than the significance level of 0.05. Hence, we reject the null hypothesis. So remember, the null hypothesis was saying that the means are equal. Okay, that's what the null hypothesis is saying. And we have rejected that hypothesis. So we are concluding with this hypothesis saying that the mean of the new drug is less than the placebo. Therefore, in other words, we are agreeing with the claim that the new drug is effective for reducing systolic blood pressure. So that's the conclusion. You can word it according to how you wish.